So you may or may not know this, but Super Mario Odyssey actually got a content update just a couple of days ago. And okay, turns out it wasn't a couple of days ago because I kinda took a break from videos. Sorry about that, guys. Had some dumb shit happen, but you know, now we're back, I think. Anyway, Super Mario Odyssey DLC did happen not a couple of days ago anymore, but it was like within the past couple of weeks, I believe. I mean, I don't know the exact date because they never really announced the date. They kind of just dropped it, and I'm okay with that strategy because I feel like that plays into a bigger thing that they're trying to do with Super Mario Odyssey and how it could potentially relate to DLC at Nintendo's E3 showcase. What's going on, guys? It's Thomas from the Switch Stop, and this is why I think Super Mario Odyssey will be getting DLC at E3 and preferably Isle Delfino DLC. However, the evidence for that is much less than the evidence for just DLC in general. So first of all, Luigi's Balloon World. What an odd update. I mean, we got it at the end of February, and we'll be coming back to that, so remember it. But yeah, we got an update at the end of February, which added a couple of snapshot mode filters, a couple of costumes, and Luigi's Balloon World minigame, which, well, is very odd to say the least. I feel like we all thought Luigi would be integrated in a way better way, and it's a balloon cutscene mini game. Like, you can't control him, he's not playable, he just stands there and waves his arms and gives you balloons. I mean, the game itself is fun, but they literally could have just replaced Luigi with a Toad. There was no point in making it Luigi's Balloon World other than to put in Luigi. I'm still very confused about that, but that's honestly a topic for another video. That was at the end of February, and it was a big update that kept us going, and I mean, a lot of people still play Balloon World. I know most people do, so it honestly did its job in keeping everyone's attention at Super Mario Odyssey. At the end of March, we got another content update, and it was just a couple of costumes, nothing too big. And I believe that we will be getting a couple more little drops of that, just like a couple of costumes at the end of April and at the end of May. Because you know what's right after the end of May? The beginning of June, which comes with E3. And I believe that they're just trying to keep everyone's attention in Mario Odyssey so they can announce something big like Isle Delfino at E3. Now, this isn't just speculation. I mean, if we had no evidence about further costumes in the game, there would be no real way to, say this. It would just be pure conjecture. However, data miners actually found the latest costumes before they were even announced, because data miners knew that there was going to be something called the Satellaview TV helmet and the Satellaview TV suit. God damn, that's a mouthful. But yeah, for those of you guys who don't get the reference, it's a reference to the Nintendo Satellaview, which is an old service you can look up. It's kind of confusing, I don't really understand all of it, but yeah, it's a reference to Nintendo's old stuff. But regardless, that's not what matters. What matters is that data miners could know that that was coming, and that's just such a random dipshit thing that you know they had to be telling the truth. Who in their right mind would actually predict a Satellaview suit for Super Mario Odyssey? No one. That's why we know these data miners were legit. Since we know that part of their leak was legit, there's nothing really stopping us from saying their whole leak was legit. I mean, they're proven data miners. A lot of people have back cross-checked their stuff. And speaking of the stuff, it includes a couple of more costumes. I think there was a total of between 6 to 8 in the data mine as a whole. It was never really clear. I know there was a Link costume, but then it got removed in an update. So we're just gonna go with 6, and then 2 of them were just used a couple of days ago in the most recent update. So bam, that's 2 more sets of 2 costumes for the end of April and May, 2 more months until E3. Also, we have confirmation that there are more costumes in the game. The Japanese Twitter account for Nintendo tweeted out a picture that said, hey, we're making more costumes for Mario Odyssey. It's awesome that we have this confirmation because it just goes to prove this theory even further. Couple that with this very weird and odd piece of information. Luigi's Balloon World is not DLC. For some reason, Nintendo as a whole has never once used the words downloadable content when describing Luigi's Balloon World.
So, quick editor's note, I just realized I should probably show you guys any proof of that at all. So they didn't really talk about Luigi's Balloon World a ton because, I mean, as I said, it was just a free update. But yeah, bam, you can look at any of the official Nintendo websites. Obviously, news outlets will refer to it as DLC, but if you're looking at just Nintendo, bam, after downloading the update a free update. Sora's game received an exciting free update today. Any official Nintendo thing. Here's the Super Mario Odyssey website. Here, my phone will focus. Take your first look at Balloon World. A free update is coming. After downloading the update, when Balloon World was first released to everyone, the little pop-up that came up on the screen said like Luigi's Balloon World in this new free update. And then probably the biggest proof of all, during the actual Nintendo Direct where it was announced, obviously you can there's my finger. Obviously you can see it says break out the balloons, free update incoming, but also you can just hear the guy say,
a free update is coming to Super Mario Odyssey.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only times they even talk about Luigi's Balloon World. It's kind of odd that they don't really mention it anywhere else, but anywhere they do mention it, they always use the term free update or something like that and not actually DLC.
So I was very confused why they wouldn't use the term DLC to describe Luigi's Balloon World. Then I remembered an interview that Yoshiaki Koizumi, the lead producer, I think he is, of Super Mario Odyssey, I think he's the game's director actually. Regardless, he has a big role in the game. And he stated that he'd love to do DLC for the game, implying that he hadn't done any already. And the kicker is this interview came out after Luigi's Balloon World. So we know that they don't consider it as DLC because he said he'd love to work on DLC. Using this, we know that they do not consider Luigi's Balloon World to be DLC, and that's why I think we will be getting actual DLC at E3, because if they considered Luigi's Balloon World as DLC, then why wouldn't they just say it? Because if they didn't have plans to make DLC for Odyssey, why the hell would the lead producer of the game say he'd love to work on DLC? If he'd love to work on DLC, wouldn't they be working on DLC? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into all these interviews and news updates and little tidbits. For me, it seems pretty clear. By releasing small content updates, starting with a big one to tide us all over, and then small little dribbles of costumes, they're trying to keep everyone's attention on this game. We already know that they have costumes to release as these little tidbits of DLC, thanks to the data miners and them straight out confirming it. We also know that they do not consider what they already did as DLC, and that they want to make actual DLC, implying that they want to make something greater than what they're doing right now. Not to mention all the analytical stuff and the financial stuff, like, well, Odyssey is such a huge game already, not just content-wise, but sales-wise. It's the best-selling game for the Switch, which is posed to be one of, if not Nintendo's best-selling console. If you can get paid DLC out there this early in the Switch's lifetime for a game that's already surpassed so many units sold, I mean, that's just such a great deal on Nintendo's end. Like, come on. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too far into it. Maybe I'm not reading far into it enough. Who knows? No one will know until we get any potential news. But for now, I honestly believe that we have a pretty solid chance of seeing Mario Odyssey DLC at E3. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. With all that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Thomas on the Switch Stop, signing off. Peace.